How are you doing? I know that coronavirus has hit here as well. How are you doing, your team, your inside team?
Well, we're doing well. It's very sad what's happened to the world and to our country with all of the death. We are going to build our economy back bigger than ever, but with all of that death, you can never replace what's taken. And it's very sad for a lot of families that are so horribly hit. And so unnecessary. They could have stopped it. They could have stopped it in China where it came from, but didn't happen that way.
I want to ask you about China. I'll get to that, but let's talk about the reopening of America right now. Okay. About half of the states have begun this process. Right. Is it too soon? There are some calls out there that they're talking about a relapse in the fall. Is it too soon?
So I want them to open when they can, when they want. The governors are opening them. Most of them are either opened or opening or considering it. I think that we have to get back to work. We have to get our country back. We have to take it back. It was artificially closed. I think we're doing incredibly well, considering the fact that we had the greatest economy, Maria, in history. You report it every morning. The greatest that anyone's ever seen, best job numbers, best stock market numbers, best everything. We had the best everything. And in addition to military being strong, all of the things we've done, and we had to just one day, boom, close it. We did the right thing, and now we got to get back. We got to bring our country back, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. We're going to, I call it a transition to greatness. You're going to have the third quarter. People are starting to get into that right now, but it's going to be a transition. That's a transition quarter. We're going to do well in the fourth quarter, and I think next year, with all of the stimulus, all of the things we've done, I think we're going to have one of the best economic years we've ever had.
Dr. Fauci is saying a different thing. He says he's worried about spikes turning into outbreaks. He said it seems like it could be too soon, and that the major message he wants to convey is that the danger is if we skip over the checkpoints and the guidelines to open America again, then we risk the danger of multiple outbreaks.
So Anthony is a good person, very good person. I've disagreed with him. When I closed the border to China, he disagreed with that, and then ultimately he agreed, and he said I saved hundreds of thousands of lives, which is what happened. Everybody disagreed when I did that. I think that we have to open our schools. Young people are very little affected by this. We have to get the schools open. We have to get our country open. We have to open our country. Now, we want to do it safely, but we also want to do it as quickly as possible. We can't keep going on like this. I mean, you're going to have you're having bedlam already in the streets. You can't do this. We have to get it open. I totally disagree with him on schools, and we will have. I call them embers. I call them spikes, and I notice he used the word spike. Well, you might have that, and we'll put it out. You know, we've learned a lot. We didn't know anything about this. This is a horrible disease. This is a horrible plague. I call it a plague. It's a terrible thing. We've learned a lot, and we also know how to put it out, but we have to open our country. We have no choice. You know, people are dying this way, too, when you report this better than I could ever report it. But people are they're dying with this closure, with the shutdown of a country where they're in their house or in their apartment. They're not allowed. Some people are too tough on it. They're not allowed to go out. They can't. They're losing their jobs. We're not going to let it happen.
Do you think your critics want you to keep it closed going into the election?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a political thing in addition. I think
because
some
they're
states,
saying you're putting money, business ahead of lives.
Yeah, no. I think the people that want to see the right thing happen, they agree with me. We have to get our country open. You know, if it was up to some people, let's keep it closed for a long time, okay? A long time, and watch the United States go down the tubes. Not going to happen. Never going to happen on my watch.
I want to ask you, I mean, do you see long-term damage done the longer that you stay closed? Because Jay Powell said that as well, that there is a long-term impact the longer it stays closed.
Yeah, so what I do see is this. I see we're losing a tremendous number of lives. So is the world. You know, the world, 184 countries. It's now more than that. Think of it. But tremendous lives lost. So that can never, when you talk about damage, that can never be replaced. We're going to lose over 100,000 perhaps in this country. Now, in all fairness, that's at the bottom level of the scale. We would have lost 2 million. We would have lost more if we did it a different way. but you're talking about 100,000 more, a little bit less, more, who knows? It's a terrible thing. No, so that can't be replaced. We're spending trillions of dollars on all of the damage economically, financially that it's caused. So it is a terrible thing. It's just an incredible thing. We were sailing. 2 months ago, we were sailing. We were going. We had the best of everything.
It was the best unemployment situation in my lifetime, certainly. And now we're talking about 33 million people filing for unemployment. Even after $10 trillion in stimulus,
that's all going to come back.
Bankruptcies.
The lives won't come back. That's all going to come back. That's going to come back fast. Now, with that, we're spending money, we're borrowing money, we're spending money. All of that stuff is bad, but all of that's going to work out. That's going to all come back. We have a strong dollar. We have a great country. The people want to go back to work, and they don't want to lose their jobs, by the way.
So you want a strong dollar? Because in the past you've said you didn't want a strong dollar. I'll tell you what,
it's a great time to have a strong dollar because the whole world, you know, we're paying 0 interest rate. That's never happened either. We're paying so low. Everybody wants to be in the dollar because we kept it strong. I kept it strong. Now, from a trade standpoint, it's tougher. But from a country standpoint and an inflation standpoint, you don't have inflation, you don't have problems. No, we have a strong dollar, and right now it's good to have a strong dollar.
Mr. President,
I can live both ways. You understand that. But right now, having a strong dollar is a great thing.
What's the right mix of policies to get us back? You had a policy program in 2017, and you moved the needle on economic growth. That was tax cuts, that was deregulation, that was turning on the energy spigot, and it was a new trade situation. Is it the same playbook to get us back? So
we're going to have maybe a different playbook, stronger than I would have ever said. I was very much a pro-USA person. I was America first, right? Always. You've known me ever since you've known me, and I was right about that. Strong borders. Our border is very strong. We have some of the best numbers we've ever had. Southern border, the best numbers we've ever had.
This is what you campaigned on.
I did, and we've now built 182 miles of wall. You know what that is? 182 miles. We'll be at close to 500 miles by early next year
of new wall.
Brand new. All